Hello folks, it's Lilia back here. In this video, I'm going to share with you a teaching insight that will help you minimise the planning time and will actually allow you to focus on your professional development because you will be able to plan one lesson to teach it to a multitude of levels without wasting your time. I'm going to kick off this video by sharing with you a little story that happened to me quite a few years ago when I was just in the beginning of my teaching career. So once I had a new student. So the student came around, I was teaching at home, that was my office at that time, and the student sat just opposite me and we started having our lesson. And the first question that I asked the student was like this: so what did you do over the weekend? What did you get up to? So what were you doing? And his level, just to give you a little bit of context, was like, let's say pre-intermediate, lower intermediate, transitioning into intermediate quite a bit. And the student said, you know what, Lilia, that's a great question, but I've actually already done that topic when I was doing my elementary course, so why do we need to go through it again? And I felt really confused at that time. I didn't really know what to say because the student I was teaching, his level of English was actually, well, just, you know, what lower intermediate is like if you're a teacher of English and you spent a lot of time teaching lower intermediate levels. So he still had room for improvement in terms of tenses, his vocabulary, and everything like that. And then I started talking about something more abstract and he lost the track and he lost the train of thought all the time. And then I decided to go down in terms of the level just a little bit and grade down the level of the question as I saw it at that time. And I asked him something like this: so can you tell me a bit about your family? And the student went like, but you know what, Lilia, I've done the family topic. I don't need to talk about it again. Can you ask me something more advanced than that? I think I'm ready to talk about something advanced. Why should I talk about my family for the 10th time in a row? So since that time, I've spent quite a lot of hours reflecting on my teaching and thinking about the levels of questions we should ask as teachers at each level, so the student feels motivated and excited and challenged right to the perfect extent for them to carry on with their English. And here's what I discovered: it's not about the question or the level of the question, although we may know that it's easier to talk about your daytime routine or about yourself than just talking about space exploration or, let's say, existential questions. It's much easier to talk about your own personal life and your own routine. However, having said that, there's nothing wrong about asking a student any kind of question, whatever level they're at, if we're talking about simpler, putting that into air quotes, questions, because the linguistic output that the student produces will actually depend on the student, not on you as a teacher. So let's do a little practical example that will allow us to drive this idea home. So let's say you ask a student, what do you usually do in the mornings? And depending on the level, be it elementary, lower intermediate, intermediate, upper intermediate, advanced or even proficiency, they're going to approach that question in a different way. And the language they will resort to in order to cope with that question will vary depending on the level. So let's take a look at this practically. Let's say you ask an elementary student, so let's say, what do you usually do in the mornings? And their answer will be something like this: yeah, so I get up at 7 o'clock, I take a shower, I have my breakfast, and I go to work. Okay, that's brilliant. Okay, so now let's ask the very same question to an intermediate student, so, and see what the answer might be like. They might say something like, so you know what, I think mornings are a great time of the day to help you set your mind for what you're going to do throughout that day. So you might just go to a park, and this is what I usually do. So I walk my dog. I just take a little walk along a beautiful street, a little park that I have nearby. So you see, the level of vocabulary the intermediate student will use will vary in accordance with their level. And it's not about the question at all. So if you go and ask the same question to an advanced student, they might say something along the lines, oh, you know what, so well, usually I don't have much to do in the morning, so I just knock about my neighbourhood, chattering with my neighbours, or things like that. And then when I come home, I try to grab a bite to eat. So I open my fridge and I see if any leftovers are there, or anything like that. So there you go. You ask your students the very same question, but their output varies depending on the level they're at. So that's just fantastic. And if you're a teacher, what you could do is explain to your student this very thing, so they don't attack you because they think that they have done that topic when they were going through their elementary or intermediate course, and now they see that topic as a step back. It's actually a step forward, because you can teach many new things to a student depending on the level. So for example, to an intermediate student, you could teach some other tenses, such as the past simple. So you could ask them to talk about their yesterday's morning, or something they did this very morning, or things like that. And you could come up with various grammatical patterns depending on the level of the student. You might just ask them to come up with interesting vocabulary, or you can teach some vocabulary to them. Say things like commute to work instead of just go to work, some synonymic common expressions that student might not be aware of. Or if we're talking about an intermediate student, you could come up with a number of semi-fixed grammatical phrases, such as, the first thing I usually do in the morning is X, whatever X is like, right? Whatever they do. Or you might just teach some other words to them, or just things like, to meditate, kick off a new day, things like that, to get the ball rolling, meaning to start, just to feel invigorated after you've had 8 hours of sleep at night, or things like that. So you may incorporate various videos into your lessons to intensify their memorizing process while you'll be teaching that thing to them. As far as the advanced student is concerned, you could actually convert the morning talk into an exam activity, like talk about a perfect morning, or talk about a hectic morning when you were very busy and you had to fit many things into your morning routine. So think back to that morning experience and tell me what it was like, things like that. So as you see, there's always room for creativity when it comes to those simple questions. If you take a look into the majority of those scholar course books, such as Speak Out, Solutions, Insight, Headway, the whole range in the market out there, you might discover that those topics are actually recurrent. They repeat themselves from time to time, polishing the student's level by just adding some new vocabulary on top of the vocabulary the student has already gone through. So that is so crucial. Don't let your students demotivate you, but also make sure you don't demotivate them by showing how bad they actually are, because first and foremost, they might just turn their back on you. They might just walk away from you because they will think you're an inconsiderate teacher, or just secondly, they might just get put off. They might be diverted from learning English. They might actually hate the learning process right from that point. So you need to be very considerate when doing that. If I think back to my experience with that student who really challenged me, I'm actually quite thankful to that person, because if not for that person, we wouldn't be having this talk with you right now. So what I want you to bear in mind, as a colleague of mine has told me once, it's really crucial that you walk away from every lesson you've taught without having hurt anybody, but also without allowing your students to ruin your happiness. On this particular note, I want to say thank you to all of you for watching my videos, and I'd really like to congratulate quite a few of you guys who have left your fantastic comments telling me how well you have done in your Cambridge examination. So well done to you. The very best of greetings right from the bottom of my heart. Well done. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you're new to this channel, make sure you click on the bell button just down below this video to subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to give me a like. If you've looked through the list of my videos and you haven't found the video of me talking about a topic you'd really like to find out more about, make sure you leave me a comment down below telling me what you'd like to find out more, and I might just take that as an idea for a future video of mine. So thank you very much. Drop me a hello on Facebook, and I'm also on Instagram sharing some of my personal photos or things like that, and go and visit my teaching blog. And if you're into one-to-one lessons, expand the description box down below to find out how we can get in touch to talk about that. Thank you very much, guys. I'll talk to you in my further videos. Bye.